As we walk our way through the smog, we see ourselves looking at Suning after a strong game 1. And through the clouds, they find themselves with Angel standing tall and Smlz there to catch him in the end, Mr. Clement Chu. I'm Mr. Erickson. I'll tell you one thing, this is already a surprising start to the series, Clement.
Yes, definitely. And something we kind of feared would happen on EDG's side. Always great regular split performers, but when it comes to the playoffs, when everyone is communicating better, they don't have that much of a lead. And I have to say that EDG really need to fix their comms if they want to move on.
Yes, there's a lot of questions in game 1. I was finishing the call and going, well, what is happening with this roster? But nevertheless, for Suning, it was a clean game 1, a clean entrance into the series. And for someone like Smlz who got MVP, he had a great laning phase because Suning loved it down there.
Wow, 43% of the damage in a 1-3-1 composition. This is how much pressure that he's actually putting out and doing in these team fights. You know, we talked about him being the hyper carry. It's still true in 2019. He can still pull off these numbers, and he was a huge part of the bot lane dives. They got an early double flash from the bot side, and Smlz was willing to go forward and even contribute damage and crowd control to make it all work out.
And what I loved, it didn't happen once, it happened twice, it happened 3 times. It was consistency from FLICKR, who played his first series, or played his first game rather, since week 1 of the LPL, and he comes in so damn strong with Smlz.
Yeah, and on the flip side, EDG, they still need to find some initiation and better communication. What we've seen from this roster is over again them being caught out and never finding the right engages to stop the 1-3-1. 1-3-1 is death by 1,000 cuts, where they're chipping away your towers, and you have to stop the bleeding by going all in. They just never could coordinate it.
It's so difficult, especially since for EDG, we haven't seen Clear Love as we talked about. We are not going to be seeing Clear Love in game 2, so they're going to try again. And, you know, there's been a lot of questions. How high can Jiejie raise EDG? How low can it sink? That game we saw both from Jiejie. Early game, and then not so much. It just fell off.
Definitely did, and this is what we've been seeing from EDG. What I would like to see from them is try to focus more on Jinoo. Like we were talking about, Jinoo doesn't get a lot of the gold share, but we named him as the X factor in the matchup. He's playing against guys that just don't play top lane. And we've actually seen Angel and Maple both suffer heavily in top lane matchups. They have a very limited champion pool. Essentially, their top lane champions boil down to Aatrox, Akali, and Corki.
Twist of fate for Angel as well. It's like his top lane champion.
That's not really a top lane.
Top lane champion.
I think they maybe play 3 top lane champions, so it's very easy to counter out. And there's a lot of good options there. I think the Sylas is going to be great. I think the Camille is going to be great. Both of those two champions, tons of crowd control. You can sync up ganks early, and they're also just really strong in the compositions.
Yeah, that's why we talk about Suning being this, you know, ambush composition, this ambush predators. I think you coined it as, right?
Just like lions.
They don't want to be in that lane anyway. So that works out perfectly. And for Suning, after that game 1, what I got to see was Angel coming into playoffs very confident, a man that you do not see in playoffs all that often.
We're saying that he's the best individual performer on Suning, and I think he proved that with the laning phase versus Scout. He was in an unfavorable matchup, was up on CS, and was able to roam twice before Scout could even react.
Angel. Maple was not too bad as well. I mean, he returned after roaming to the bottom side of the map with TP, so it's great that you can play between versatile solo lanes here for Suning. They use that strength so well against an EDG where you know Scout's going mid, you know Jinoo's going top side. There is a predictable path for Edward Gaming.
That is true, but it's not actually that versatile. They only play 3 champions top. Kill their top laner over and over again.
So you should be on EDG. You tell them this. Clement Chu's your new coach.
So EDG have selected blue side once again, and remember in dynamic side selection, out of the 5 series, if it goes to 5, they get to choose 3 games. They've already used 2, and the next game is going to be very interesting. Do they allow Suning to then get side selection, or are they going to use it all in the front?
Remember we talked about this last playoff where the first 2 makes logical sense. Get yourself the best start to the series and then hold off until you desperately need it, like a game 4 or game 5. Makes sense for EDG. So it's interesting because using it again after it didn't go too well, we'll have to see how they come into this one.
In the blue side, the strengths of the drafting is that you can select your bot lane duo as together on the second and third.
Right?
Yeah, you know, Zyra Khan, Kai'Sa Nautilus, Kai'Sa Volibear, those have been the go-tos for EDG, and I think that's what it signals. If EDG goes to the red side, then that would give me a lot more confidence, because I think EDG on red side, they actually use Jinoo a lot more. Jinoo gets to pick his matchups, and this guy plays a lot of champions. We saw it, 14 champions, he's got the Riven, he's got the Fiora, he's one of the first Aatrox players that the LPL had, so this guy he can actually play that carry role.
Yeah, he's a carry, so if EDG aren't able to utilize that, then you have to look towards Scout, who, granted, still played a decent game, but Scout can't do all the heavy lifting.
This is kind of the dilemma of EDG, and it's always been that way. They focus on their bot lane super heavily, often to their own detriment, because they're shot callers in the bot lane. They're saying, you know what, if we have to win the game, we need Meiko talking throughout the mid game, so we need to get him out of lane safely. And that just creates a situation where I feel like you're a little bit too easy to read, and you're not looking at the overall matchup against the teams.
As we saw in game 1. I mean, it's easy. Like, Hacker goes, okay, you want to focus bot side? We know how to position down there. We know how to move ourselves down there. I want to quickly talk about Hacker a little bit more, because we're seeing him again in game 2. There are no substitutions as far as we're aware. Hacker leading the charge in this series. It's good to see. I think Hacker's a great jungler, and he has a wide variety of picks.
So to go over Hacker's history a little bit, he did make playoffs with Angel in summer of 2018. Well, this is kind of interesting. While Knight and Tien actually didn't make it in spring. But you think about it that way, it's like, oh, that sounds kind of impressive. So Hacker definitely has is known for playing off strong lanes, and he does very, very well when one lane is significantly ahead. He had the highest jungle control in summer of 2018. But what we've seen with you know, Maple is he doesn't really have that strong lane to play off of. Like, Maple's pretty much 50-50 in lane most of the times.
That's a good way to put it.
And a lot of times, Hacker just went into the jungle and just died there. So it was kind of awkward. And later on, they did go for Weiwei, who I think has better mechanics than Hacker and is willing to play the Olaf a little bit more. So it's still the same style, but this guy makes it out alive.
People have been saying Weiwei's been pretty consistent as well. So, I mean, that's a big part of it. Of course, we're going to hear about from Maple, excuse me, his thoughts moving into this series.
季后赛的这段期间，我们会去准备更多的招数啊，像研发就是更奇怪的 meta， 然后在比赛中表现出来。
So, new tactics moving in, versatility. I take away from Maple, who's a seasoned veteran who, you know, joined the LPL this year and is looking to help Suning grow alongside with him.
Yeah, I love those. You know, it's basically like mental warfare where they're trying to goad the enemy team to ban random champions. It's like, think into my champion.
I've been playing Fiddlesticks mid. Wouldn't you just need to ban that? You see EDG come back in on stage, and Clement, is this the start of good things to come for EDG?
So there are a couple things that EDG could do. I expect EDG to actually just double down on the strategy they had in Game 1. Now, to be absolutely fair, that strategy did make a lot of sense. It is a logical strategy. My only complaint with it is I don't think it's necessarily the most efficient strategy against Suning. That's my only complaint with it. So the way I see this, with them selecting the blue side again, they're going to run with something that's very similar, but try to play the early game correctly.
I mean, it's important because for EDG, they would know that Suning in the past have been defeated by being outmatched in their lanes, by Suning being overrun in their each and individual role, where they can't execute the global composition, whether it has a teleport or not, as we saw in Game 1. Hello, Hacker. Is that just from this series? Yes, it is.
We're seeing some Hacker stats. 81% kill participation, making a lot of things happen for his
14
team.
solo kills. Wow.
Whoa.
What does it say?
That's wards.
Okay.
But he bought a lot of wards.
Oh.
14 wards. That's impressive. Wow.
It's actually, that's pretty decent.
Usually you don't see like numbers into the double digits, especially with a game playing like that one. So Hacker has been practicing exactly what he needs to do, and I felt like he did a really good job in keeping that Akali lane pushing most of the time. You know, he defended the jungle quite well.
I mean, he was everywhere that game. Like, that was the perfect Skarner game for Hacker. And I'll say that, again, his entrance back into this with Angel at the wing, it's looking pretty clean, and there's Angel on your screen once again. a man who is turning heads.
Yeah.
He's turning heads, and he turned EDGs all the way around.
Angel was known as a very good player on specific champions during his summer playoff run. But later on, they kind of got figured out where, oh, if you ban away the Galio, he seems to drop off a bit. But this split, he's really expanded his champion pool, took on a new role in the top lane, and it really has made all the difference.
Okay, Hacker and Jiejie back in the jungle. No changes once again going into game 2. Now remember, for everyone out there, we are staying on 9-15 for the whole of playoffs and for finals. So get used to it, because we're going to see a lot of these pick and bans rinse and repeated. I'm not surprised seeing 2 support bans towards Suning.
Yep, and Suning, once again, they're banning away the 2 champions that Jinoo could wreck them with. The Camille and the Silas being thrown out the window, while EDG trying to take away Suning's patented style. You know, the protection coming in from SwordArt, that is so critical in so many games. Yuumi and Tahm Kench out the window. For EDG, they're looking at the potential picks of Akali and the Jace, but very interesting, actually going for the Gragas, and this is making Suning players super happy.
Yeah, once again, Angel's like, okay, I'll take that away. We've got 2 great Akalis on the side of EDG.
I play 3 champions top. I got one of them. Great.
All right. Akali once again. No brainer, Clement. What do you follow up? Do we just rinse and repeat?
This is a bit weird in my eyes. I feel like Aurelia or Jace would be much stronger early picks, and to be honest, given Jiejie's recent performance, I don't really understand the priority on getting him champions.
True. We want to put him into a comfortable position. That'll definitely do it with the Gragas. Of course, Suning, by taking the Xayah here, they force Meiko to either take away Rakan, or they have to hope that, well, SwordArt's going to pick it at this point. Everyone knows that. Oh, Ezreal. Okay.
Here's a change in draft. This is no kill lane in the bottom lane anymore.
But do you get your solo lane? Yes, you do. So they're not worried about giving the Xayah Rakan away.
All right, so EDG coming up with something new. This looks very much like a poke composition. They can get the Corki as well, and that would take away from Maple's champion pool.
Yep.
It's actually really smart. That would leave Maple with Aatrox and Kennen in the top side.
Okay. I just want to see this locked in, and then we can move on.
So they're thinking about if Rakan is strong enough initiation. A lot of times you see teams actually prefer the Nautilus for their engages.
That's true.
But Xayah Rakan, in my opinion, is still stronger in lane. They're going to go for that one instead.
Especially at the moment, more and more Xayah Rakan's coming out of the woodwork. And iBoy, Meiko, Smlz, and SwordArt, you look at them and go, yeah, they're the Xayah Rakan bottom lane. So second time in a row here for Suning to pick up that specific bottom lane. Their picks are the exact same so far, and they'll just go ahead and ban the Nautilus again.
So just taking away initiators from Meiko. This is not a comp thing. This is a player thing, because no matter what, Meiko has to be on an initiator for EDG to succeed.
Yep.
They're going to take that away.
I like the Skarner ban here against Hacker when he had such a great game 1 with it.
Yeah, this one's interesting because I just don't know what Hacker plays these days.
Remember, he has the pocket pick Kha'Zix, worst case scenario. Not that you're going to go, oh, it's a Gragas, I better pick up Kha'Zix. So let's find out what he goes for this game, because it will be a new jungle.
It looks like the Jarvan is a very high possibility. If I'm Suning, I'd be looking at that option.
Or Sejuani has been a big pick here in the LPL, and actually just globally.
Yeah, actually in the LPL, we still favor the Jarvan over the Sejuani.
That's true.
Cataclysm, just so much more power.
There she goes anyway.
Okay. It looks like EDG are going with the rest of the world in hysterics, so.
Remember that Hacker does play so much Jarvan, so right on the money there. Let's see if the Aatrox once again gets picked up. And
this is a risky one because they're basically showing their hand on what they're sending topside.
Okay.
And Jinoo should have a lot of counters here. We've seen the Jax work great. We've seen the Gnar be pretty good into this matchup if he's not disrupted early.
Maybe they want to look at the Rise here.
Ooh, the Rise is something that's quite risky. I wouldn't go for the Rise necessarily. Rise is much easier to kill without his shield these days.
Well, that's a no-brainer for Jinoo especially. A Renekton main through and through.
I actually would prefer just sending the Renekton wherever the Akali goes.
Okay.
This is the great thing about EDG. Their solo laners can flex between these 2 picks, no problem.
Finally, okay. I like that you mentioned flexibility. We do get the Meiko Alistar to finish off the Game 2 draft here for EDG. And for Suning, as you were mentioning, We just need a jungler. The Jarvan. I've said no-brainer twice now in this pick and ban. I'm going to say it again for FLICKR.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty clear lock. You get the attack speed buff, you get the initiation, the crowd control, so everything is great there with the Jarvan pick. Just looking down the composition, EDG once again going very heavy in the early game with the Gragas ganks and just the dominant 2 solo laners this time. However, they did switch it up. They're putting less of their eggs into that bot lane basket.
Yeah,
that's what I wanted to see. You don't need to go bot lane every single time. Your strength in this matchup is definitely the solo laners.
The strength of those solo laners right there. Scout on Jace again, Jinoo on Renekton. It feels a lot better here from EDG in Game 2. And that's great, because against Dominus, I was looking at EDG's draft and was saying to myself, what changes in this series? That was in spring. We didn't want to see EDG go down the same path here against Suning.
And these are 2 very brutal lanes that EDG have. They can control where the wave is going to be positioned. Akali and Aatrox, most of the time they will inadvertently push the wave just with their abilities. So it's very difficult for Suning to keep their solo laners alive throughout all of this. I think there's a lot more pressure this game on Suning than in the game in Game 1.
It's important. Game 1, EDG failed to communicate. EDG failed to impress in Game 1. And coming into this with a much easier draft, set up to succeed, because if Suning go to 2-0, straight away you're saying, well, EDG, will you remain winless in 2019 in playoffs?
This time, EDG can actually hold up against the 1-3-1 potential. Like, the Akali doesn't have a great time against the Renekton, and Jace, with his range ability and disengage, he can stay into the Aatrox lane quite a long time. So there isn't that much of an issue, I would say, this time compared to the previous draft.
Then I look at Jiejie once more. I go, okay, great early performance, but you fell off like a truck as LNG, get that out of here. There we go. Okay. All right. We're just getting around to it. The world keeps on spinning. I don't know why. Suning and IG are together. But someone turned on the wrong light in the sky as we go into Game 2 of EDG and Suning. The crowd gets ready. You can see people left their seats, Clement. EDG lost Game 1. They thought, oh, not again. They just went home.
Ooh, EDG already setting up for the same tricks as in Game 1,
Hello,
trying
Raz.
to clear out for vertical jungling.
Raz sitting in the middle of 2 wrestlers.
See him.
No, he gave us the old peekaboo. So, if you didn't see before, WWE wrestlers Cesaro and Xavier Woods, also known as Austin Creed, gave a cool intro to the team heading into today. So they're over in the arena in Hongqiao.
I'm definitely not getting into a physical altercation with Raz after he comes back. I
You
expect
think
him
he's
to
going to level up?
Yes,
dude?
he's going to pick up a lot of skills.
He's fine. Raz is fine. Raz wouldn't hurt us, Clement. Well, actually, you know him better.
He made me wear a wig today.
Yeah, that's true. If we didn't wear the wig, who knows what would have happened. But that goes down a different path, which maybe I'll divert us from here today.
Yep, just going down the runes, we're seeing double conquerors in the top lane, and the rest is pretty standard.
Electrocute Jarvan is always one I like chatting about, because it's conquerors or electrocute, and a lot of the time, that early pressure that you get from the rune, enough to contest with the likes of Jiejie, who of course goes to Predator.
I always say that's a confident rune choice. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, get out of here. That's the 1-for-1 you want to see, but iBoy actually loses it wholehandedly. So Smlz and SwordArt starting this bottom lane off even better than last time. Jiejie's going to get spotted out doing Raptors here nice and early. He wanted to be on the bottom side. This is where he belongs. But FLICKR, Clement, are you ready? Jinoo may be full health, but Maple gets a Q back with hackers here. He flashes immediately.
Gets a red buff.
Just wants to get the damage down. The electrocute's there. You're right. Flashing away. Conqueror's activated. Hackers low. I think Jinoo can 1v2 this.
Yeah, he's playing very calm. Even though Renekton scales up in level...
FLICKR under turret. Maple there as well will get the trade.
That's not a win for him, though.
No,
that
it
really
is not.
isn't.
Because Maple now has double buffs and a lane that is pushing against him towards his turret.
That was cool, but
not great.
Yeah, the greatest winner was Jiejie there. It definitely was not Jinoo in the end.
Yes, watch Smlz this game. Wow, that's a great Hero's entrance from SwordArt. But yeah, you're right. The top side, Maple has double buffs, baby.
and double summoner advantage.
Yeah.
So they really need this dive to work now. Oh.
I mean, get him out of the turret. That's right, Jiejie. Oh, flash for
good
flash.
Good flash.
Look at the two junglers up here now.
I wouldn't stay here if I was Maple. This is...
But the Jarvan's coming in, Clement. Jinoo's going to go into the brush. The ward goes down first, and Maple back towards his turret. They're trying to deny the CS, but Maple will be able to come back in and clean up the rest.
Some good support from FLICKR right there. He definitely read what EDG was doing, and Jinoo is going to have to live with this lane. He still has a small item advantage, so the TP should equalize soon, but definitely not a good position for him to be.
He hasn't backed yet as well. So remember, even though Jinoo got first blood, Maple sitting on a bit of gold here after picking up the jungler himself. And the wave is in such a great position.
I gotta say, that's just so Jinoo.
Yeah,
Get the cool play down. Do you know he has the second most kills out of any LPL top laner?
Yeah.
Just behind the Shy.
Do you remember in spring that Jinoo had, I think he was third in solo kills. It was even on V5.
Yeah.
Back when he was then, it was the Shy. It was Ray from EDG at the time. And Jinoo was either third or fourth, so a lot of
three
expectation.
flashy Korean import top laners.
I mean, he's been here for a while. I love talking about the history of Jinoo because it's a player that people aren't familiar with, a solo laner who...
He deserves more recognition.
He does. He spent his time amidst Murren and Acorn over on LGD coming into, I think, the start of 2016.
Yeah, he learned from the absolute best, and I believe this is the first time he's actually joining playoffs.
Yeah.
Didn't get a chance on LGD, didn't get a chance on V5, but doing very well this split with EDG.
He wants to go that extra mile, do what Ray couldn't do in spring. And when Ray has been inactive due to health reasons, it's good to see that the shoes build up well here for EDG, but Jinoo, a lot on the back of him this game. Picked up that first blood, he got a longsword, simply said. But lane has kind of gone back to normal, so I thought it'd be a lot worse for wear after what we saw, Clement, but it was the pressure from Jiejie in that top lane that has brought it back to net even.
Yeah, just looking across the map overall, I feel like EDG is doing quite well in their bottom side. The Jace is ahead, and surprisingly enough, the Ezreal's also up in CS. Despite not going home, he's still going to be down and back, so that's going to equalize, but he's been doing very well against the pushing lane of Xayah and Rakan.
Yeah, because SwordArt got some really good trades against him earlier on, so again, it's the same with top lane. It's the recovery of the laners so far in this game. As Hacker's going for a deep invade. Now, Jiejie is level 5. Hacker still level 4 here after getting the ward down. And they're going for the bottom lane. This is going to be a 3v3 with now the Akali nearby as well. Level 6 and Flash.
Okay, so we have to mention that Suning does have the teleport advantage, and look at what Maple is doing. He's actually holding on to the fountain in case he does need to just instantly be down there.
Yeah, you're going to have to walk back to lane now, though. You know what that means. He's going to get there about a minion or two later. Jinoo's going to back 2. So this for EDG, felt like it was going to build up to something, but we're now back to net even.
Jiejie was in the right position. It was a very risky 4v3, and the teleport would have needed to be committed from Suning if they wanted to make that 5.
Look at that first item comment. Execution is calling here for Jinoo. So optimal choice against an Akali, Aatrox, and a Xayah.
That's one of the tougher matchups here, and I think it's a good test to see how good Maple's Aatrox actually is.
Yep.
He has played it in other lanes in Spring Split, but not on the top side.
That's true. Maple wasn't in a position to really play between top and mid in spring. 1, the meta. 2, because he was playing around with different laners as Jinoo goes in for the all-in once more. Maple trades back, but Jinoo just destroys him. That's the power of execution is calling with the early item advantage.
Yeah, it's a great dodge on the Q1 as well. That's always the problem with Aatrox. If you get your lane froze and you try to unfreeze with your Q, it's typically a recipe for disaster.
True.
We've seen so many top laners just try to go in. And Maple this split, Angel this split on the Aatrox have been having a really, really tough time top.
Really has been. Look at Scout once again. Take that. Not as much as you think. That's the thing about Jace in the first 10 minutes. He does a bit of damage, but not much just yet. We're waiting for that first item as iBoy.
Good dodge.
Well, yeah.
He thought the stun was going to go down.
That's true. That's very true. Give him the old benefit of the doubt, having God Vision here as Scout. Okay. It's the peekaboo as Jinoo underneath. Turret's going to start taking it up. He goes into dominance. The world enters there. Maple gets a bit of life steal, but Jinoo has to back away. Catches him under turret. Hacker will die here, but the explosive gun takes away the Aatrox. EDG juggled so damn well, but Angel comes up to secure at least one. That was a nice dive.
Yeah, they bursted 2 targets at the same time. Really cool play, and I love the finishing touches on Jiejie, just getting that explosives cast down before Maple could even react.
That should have been so much messier, but you're right. It was the juggling of aggro too here from EDG that made that play exquisite. So, top lane dive is success.
Nope.
No, what, iBoy? No, because he doesn't have it.
He was glowing, so I thought SwordArt was going in. What?
You're like, okay.
Just the gleaming quill.
That's fair. You got to play more Rakan, Clement.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Hey, let's have a quick look because Maple stove this one off for a bit.
Yeah, he definitely had a very good stall, and Hacker just did not assume that he was going to get all of the burst damage turned around by the Jace. Dies instantly, and then Maple gets another one on the back end. That was like, 2 car accidents happening side by side for Suning.
One that Angel was able to get out of the wreckage, pull off the door, and go back to the auto repair. He picked up a kill, is what I'm trying to say here is, it's a Vampire Acceptor. Oh no. Yes. Oh, hello, peekaboo. Jinoo's like, I'll get the ward, then I'll leave, but almost pays for it with his life. Okay. We're doing the dragon.
She just does have smite.
That's
looking
right.
For the steal.
And look at where Meiko is as well. The sandwich available, but unfortunately it costs too much here. The mountain's going to be picked up, and Suning start off game 2 with their own dragon.
Yeah, the key thing that happened right there was neither Jace nor Gragas.
He's backing on a ward, Clement. Meiko's going to get knocked up twice, 3 times, not available to Shepard. Cataclysm is there. It is the unbreakable will you mentioned, and Hacker doesn't want to ult. It's an overcommittal if they go too far.
So Suning do walk away with the Mountain Drake, and what I wanted to point out was neither Gragas nor the Jace could really walk past that blind brush on Suning's side of the river where Angel could have been sitting. So they played it very, very defensively and just gave over the Mountain Drake.
Jinoo just wants to be Alpha Crocodile on the top lane. Good dodge there by Maple as Scout even makes his way up there as EDG, this time they know which lane they want to play through. And as you mentioned in Champions League, bot lane this time is just going to be sitting back and trying to get through it. While top lane, the pressure keeps mounting, and Jinoo really loves it up here. World Ender going to be popped, and that's a big ultimate you take away with. Well, EDG going to get engaged on the bottom side. Instant flash away, quickness is there. SwordArt goes in, flashes himself. Meiko gets that huge pulverize, but SwordArt gets in anyway. It doesn't matter, Clement. They've got enough members. There's a perfect stopwatch from SwordArt, and he gets out. But Jinoo comes in, Crocodile is angry, runs in the middle, flashes in for the slice and dice, and spins around. This Dominus paying dividends, but Jinoo goes down because Angel gets a 5-point strike.
Oh my god, so it takes 2.5 points to get a kill right there, because he got 2 kills with a single ability.
Great shuriken throw there, you'll say, Clement.
That
4
is
and 0.
rough.
Yep. Now Suning get first heart, and now Suning are looking better than ever in this early game.
Yeah,
Again.
And I have to say, I think the big problem right here was EDG without their jungler on the right side of the map. They couldn't really contest that bottom point of it. And once again, somehow Angel is just roaming whenever he wants to.
It's just freedom here from Suning that they're capitalizing on. They're all over the map there to ambush Predators, Clement. And it happens again as EDG will, at the very least with Rift Herald, pick up the mid lane turret and get some of that gold back.
All right, now here's the big question. If EDG start losing on the bot side, can they still keep their communication together?
True.
That has been the biggest weakness for them and why they prioritize Meiko's lane so heavily. I want to see if EDG can have a good comeback here. Now, once again, this is actually, we see the problem right here. The main issue here is actually happening on the top side, where you see both the mid jungler from EDG going for the scuttle, leaves the bottom wide open. There's no teleport on Jace.
You ready for this, Clement? Good stopwatch by Meiko, but ready? Okay. Jinoo's like, yep, that's me. Angel, shuriken flip.
Goes back.
Oh, yeah. Meiko, he was hungry, but Angel shuts him down. 4 and 0 Akali now on the field. Summoner's Rift just got that much more dangerous. You know that's a gunblade ready to be picked up on this next back.
You remember Angel and his laugh when he saw that EDG picked Gragas first pick rather than the Akali.
He was pretty happy.
He was like, thank you very much. So, I was very surprised by that as well. I was like,
Clementu not happy with the Akali.
Well, EDG in their last series versus Suning, they picked Akali first pick both times and won both times.
Akali has almost 100% win rate. We'll see how it goes after this series. If that's quickness again, True Shot Branch going to come through. Yeah, SwordArt getting bursted down, but Jinoo can't get near. He burns from the turret shot. FLICKR won't take the next one, but Maple, yeah, maybe he does get two. The auto attack there. Jinoo forces the flash out of Maple. Jiejie gets Smlz. That's a messy one. Need a replay to see how Suning just died on multiple fronts.
You never dived the Croc. That was three people down.
Where is he? Scout's looking for FLICKR. There it is, but not enough damage thanks to the shield.
Good golden Aegis there, but big misstep coming in from Suning. He stuns up, gets one target down, and then you see the members rotating out of the tower aggro. And you have to remember that tower does not drop damage amplification after switching anymore. So, this is why Renekton is so favored in the LPL.
True.
He's the best weak side champion you can ever get.
That's right. And I mean, in the hands of Jinoo, too, who is an esteemed Renekton, he started to take over this top side as a fight on multiple fronts begins with Suning's engage.
Yeah, SwordArt is the first one to tank, takes a bit of damage, has to go out, dies, giving the... Oh man, he gives the triumph over to Jinoo, who heals. Would have died without that one.
God, I didn't see the Gragas onto Smlz. Smlz's like, I'll join the fight. He walks past the turret and Jiejie's like, okay, brother, you're going to be sent backwards.
This is why the ambush predator thinks they find a calf in the herd, and it turns out to be the alpha male.
Yep. And the well-oiled machine strikes back here, Clement. It's a 2K gold lead, one where now Suning going to fall further behind. Explosive cast again.
Good blowback.
Smlz is 0-3.
And Suning have to find their way out of this bottom side. They're currently trapped underneath their own tower.
That's a crocodile on the hunt, but he goes the other way. Angel is now the shining light of this team, Clement.
The miracles that can happen when you invest in your top laner.
Be, yeah. You're right. It's a change-up for EDG is what you're mentioning. It's a change-up into Jinoo where now 3-2, Spear Shojin, the Renekton, is kept up in CS. And another person we're going to talk about who's been benefiting off that is Scout, who's also had a decent laning phase this time around.
Quick, someone show this footage to RNG. Maybe they'll learn something.
Show them how it's done.
SwordArt?
Ignite. Is SwordArt going to die? No. Got the battle dance to give him the shield as EDG might have gone too far forward. Angel's there. Perfect execution onto two. Cataclysm on Meiko. He goes forward. Flashes on in. Meiko comes back in. You sick cow. That was awesome.
That was a centimeter sidestep to the right of himself, and Scout dodges out on the perfect execution.
That looked like a sure thing from Angel as well. So EDG are going to benefit from that. The overdive comes through. 3K gold lead now for EDG. Make that 3.5 as Jinoo is getting a solo turret.
This is just so relaxing. There's nobody here. Yeah. PvE moment in the hectic world of the LPL.
This is your Tryndamere moment, right? Where you're in that bottom side and you're like, well, I'm not going to go visit the Tryndamere. I don't care. And he takes the turret. He gets solo gold. Jinoo's ahead. It's going to be even more than that. It's almost 4,000 gold for EDG. And they've capitalized off the mistakes here of Suning in the earlier part of the game. A game which looked like Suning were going to take control of once again.
I hope people believe me when I now say EDG solo laners should be a lot better than Suning's. And I think this game is finally proving us right. Scout got a massive bounty off of Angel. He was 4-0-0 before that one, so he's really going to start to hurt. And we already see the Black Cleaver nearly done here. EDG, they can play this multiple ways. Renekton can be the split pusher at this point, and also they have a very strong poke comp. So,
that's true.
You know, it really is up to Suning to decide how they defend what EDG throw at them.
Super hard. Again, I come back to the point where Angel finding the pick alongside FLICKR and the follow-up from Suning seems to be the go-ahead as we move to this mid-game.
Most important thing for Suning is actually just keeping Angel ahead.
True.
Suning's composition, I don't think works at all if they do not have solo laners that can support the 1-3-1.
Yeah.
So they're going to try, especially Hacker's going to try his best to find a couple more kills onto Angel, make sure that he's impactful when he comes in on the flank.
He does not need to be here though right now, but will take himself a Scuttle Crab, so I'll take that back. Meiko was playing footsies with Maple in the top side of the map. Now, I want to go through items while we have a peaceful moment, because this has been a more tempo-based game coming into this series, where we have a 3-0-2 Gragas. We've got ourselves a Morel and Omicron on the way.
Tempo game with 14 kills at 19
but
minutes.
you know
okay.
what I mean.
I know.
For Suning and EDG, I mean, I got it in front of me here. 31 minutes average game time for EDG. 33 minutes for Suning.
A bit longer.
Yeah, a little bit longer, but the point is, over 30 minutes in the LPL, I always consider some longer game times. Because we have 4 teams that are under the 30-minute mark, like Top, IG, I think at one point OMG, because they lost a lot. But we're going to see Jiejie in the top side of the map. We'll continue this point in a second, Clement, as Maple has been caught out, but Meiko's like, no, not this time.
And good movement see from the Cloud Drake actually taking him away from danger.
Yeah, paid for itself. Meiko,
I think he's overstaying.
He is by himself, Clement. Is there an unbreakable will? Well, yes, there is. So this is either the best bait in history. I think it might be the flash from Meiko. He gets sent outward with the explosive cast. Suning want to take this fight, but EDG have already got the first pick as a double knock-up with a double cataclysm. And now Maple gets this reset. Smlz gets the root in the backline, and they need the Aatrox to find the mark as Angel has joined the fight, takes out the cow on the way out. FLICKR escapes as well, and Suning love this Akali Aatrox combo.
Good peripheral vision coming in from Angel, sniping someone over the wall to make this even. iBoy's in a lot of danger here.
Yeah, Maple baiting them in. Hacker's there as well. They still don't know he's here. Angel getting it spotted out.
Never mind.
Shuriken flip. You know he'll take this E, Clement. But he waits and decides against it.
Now, Jinoo's holding on to a stun. He's not taking the E.
That's true. That is true. You got to think with your brain, not with your 5-point strike. Angel, 5-1, picks up another kill. Teleport going to be used here. Hacker's like, hello, Smlz, would you like to get the dragon with me?
Okay, very, very dead set on securing that. This is going to give them a great chance onto controlling the Baron.
Double mountain as well, Clement.
Yeah, and EDG, honestly, that was a bit too messy for their liking, and they do lose out on some of the gold bounties here. Meiko takes a lot of damage earlier on. Jiejie's ultimate doesn't really have the desired effect. And what really saved the fight for me was Jinoo coming in from the brush, killing Smlz instantly, and still doing tons of damage with his Dominance ultimate.
And it's like that the warding meant that Angel could go over the wall and get that kill that would bring it back to even. Good Cataclysm as well there from Hacker. Hacker coming back in. You know, not as remarkable as the game one we saw, but still keeping the contention of Suning high as EDG still with the 3K gold lead, but 21 minutes into the game when you have a triple mountain on the horizon, Suning know their windows back in themselves.
Yeah, we're seeing EDG find some of their own win conditions. They are incredibly strong whenever they find Jinoo into the backside. No one can kill him down at this point. It's going to take Xayah a couple more items to actually be relevant against the Renekton at this point.
Yep.
So what EDG are setting up for is whenever they have a teleport on Renekton, they can just go into Suning's jungle with their gold lead, draw back towards the Baron, and have that flank set up.
Because who works better in the open space? EDG push themselves forward, and it looks like right now they are the answer. As Smlz regrets being in this mid, gets a good root down though, and Jinoo's going to be set up. There's the ult from the Ricard. They jump into the Cataclysm, and Smlz started that off, but with a 1-for-1 trade from the answer, now Meiko in a bit of trouble over the wall. Angel finds himself with the perfect execution. Do they need the electrocute? No! Maple gets a double. And Smlz, he got poked out, but then he brought that fight right back.
Yeah, really good 3-man quickness coming in from SwordArt, saving the siege from happening. And unfortunately for Jinoo, it was just caught a little bit too far forward. And with his current items, he's actually very easy to kill.
Yeah. So Jinoo going down. We look at another kill. This time going over to Maple. I believe it was 2. So Aatrox well and truly online with 2 items. And I think we're going to see another replay. Clement?
It all did start with Smlz taking
look at
a
this
ton of poke. Look at SwordArt as he comes in.
On Jinoo.
Yeah, pops the quickness during the E. He finds a good couple of targets there. Meiko caught under the tower. Really is a battle between the diving carries from both teams. We have Akali on one side from Suning, and Renekton making the big difference on EDG as well. So once Renekton fell down, Angel basically had free reign.
Akali again, your eyes go towards that mid lane here for Suning. And gold shrunk a little bit here. EDG only up by about 2,000 at this point. But look at the setup here. They want that triple mountain. A triple mountain on the side lane of the Aatrox. Of course, the Xayah Rakan will feel pretty good the way that this game goes.
This is a hard team to bait with for EDG because they're very slow in taking the Baron. Not a lot of sustained damage on their champions whatsoever. So I think Suning are going to be pretty happy with just sitting back in their side of the jungle and trying to ambush as EDG tries to push their vision advantage further.
We can say at the very least that this was bound to happen by EDG. The constant push, the poke we talked about. It nails down Smlz. They get the inner turret. Now they're going towards top side. Angel is too far out. The cast hits him, or rather, it's going to be the shock blast. 3 members jump on, even in the shroud. The explosive cast misses as he goes golden underneath the turret. There's the ult to get out, but he doesn't. Scout finds him first. And big pick here for EDG as now the sieging can continue.
If they're going to trade towers away here, EDG should be able to take this one. Suning should be careful because if they lose one more member, they lose Baron as well.
Do they keep on going here? There, Clement. There's no minion wave until now.
I don't really think so. I think it's more beneficial to then just clear back and make sure you have total control over the red side. Pushing here, for me, is a bit risky. You have the Renekton without TP already shown in the bot side as well. So yeah, definitely not going to continue.
He went GA second as well, by the way. When we normally see a Black Cleaver, Jinoo's like, no.
Meiko, get out of there.
Oh, that was an interaction.
Yeah, I just have to root for EDG there. I hate watching games go down to someone not making it over the wall.
Yes. The blast cone pick at like 40, 50 minutes. The worst of games.
Yeah, it's a double mountain already on Suning. If Meiko dies there, a very high chance Baron just goes over. So we want to see a proper fight.
Yeah, 25 minutes into the game, you're right. Suning clearing out vision in this Baron pit while EDG able to push back on in. And they should have priority here in the top side river. But Akali pushing out the wave. Good news here for Suning.
You can just see in the choice of trinkets that Suning are not very worried about EDG starting the Baron. They don't have a lot of blue trinkets. They're pretty happy to hold on to their scanners and just keep their red side safe.
I like this, though, for EDG denying the triple mountain. But, of course, Suning can't go and threaten the Baron, which we've talked about a lot here in the LPL, that trade-off. So, triple mountain denied as EDG going to get engaged on. That's going to be a knockback onto Hacker. The flash in from SwordArt. Finds himself a one-man. Scout flashes over the wall in return as well. Jiejie comes in and gets Smlz once again. Maple goes in the world and now he's dead. Hacker has to get out of there, but the shock blast follows him. And Angel's on the wrong side.
Jiejie's got to be the MVP of the fight for that one. Instantly bursts down Smlz and then gets a knockback onto Maple.
They can start the Baron here. Jinoo is zoning off Hacker. And Suning are in such a difficult position.
Suning started the fight themselves, but great play from Meiko actually getting the knockback.
Jinoo's still following. Angel. Yeah, he doesn't land the Shuriken flip, so he's out. Baron at 2k secured.
SwordArt is dead.
Yep.
Up. Gets out.
EDG get the Baron. So 5k gold lead, Baron. And yes, SwordArt is dead. This is evolved into chaos.
Wow, that was just a massive outplay coming in from EDG. Suning thought they had the drop. They had Aatrox roaming towards the mid lane faster than EDG, but the initial salvo of the fight was so poorly played.
It's again, we come back to square one where it's those micro moments that we talk about. Let's have a look again because engage looks swell for Suning.
Yeah, the thing that really went wrong here is that iBoy was untouched. He actually beat both of the initiations coming in from SwordArt and Hacker. He wasn't touched by the EQ combo, and later on he was able to Zhonya's away from the quickness. So all the initiation abilities on Suning used. Smlz walks in to Jiejie coming in from the flank. Doesn't get any reaction time, dies before he lands.
Has his flash up again. I have to talk to Smlz, Clement, because game 1 and game 2, he does not want to use that flash button.
That is true. Smlz is known to be an extremely greedy player with his summoners.
Yep, he's 0-5 this game. Ultimate available, flash is available. Is the miracle available here for Suning? Because the later this game goes, although it's the Jace to Renekton, you still go, well, it's a mighty fine snowball. It's one where EDG will hold control with this Baron for the next 10-15 minutes.
EDG should be setting up for the 4-1 right now. They have great poke with iBoy and Scout, and then they can have Renekton in one of the other lanes. That's exactly what they're doing now. So Suning do have an opportunity to start their full initiation onto this 4-man. I believe that's what they should be looking for.
Looking for the damage out of that true shot barrage. Remember, Luden's Echo third here for the Ezreal, so the AP feel big, but they flash on top of iBoy. Hacker gets bopped back as Suning looking for the flank here. It's the ambush yet again, Clement, as the Predators strike, but EDG have negated it. In fact, they're poked back even more.
Shut down by Meiko once
Jinoo's not
more.
even there. Jinoo's in the mid lane. I mean, there's a 4 versus 5, which was just negated.
Yeah, and we didn't even see SwordArt pop the quickness. That was how far off the mark Suning were. I don't think, I think Hacker is actually going in a bit early in these fights from what I can tell. There was a teleport on the backside, but Hacker's already in. And, you know, that just prompted EDG to run away. But Jinoo's caught.
Yeah, maybe. He has the GA though, so he can waste time. They don't find the knock-up. Jinoo at half health goes into Dominus. The re-engage at the ready as EDG. Not going to get rooted down by the Blade Caller, and it's the same again. Suning is just trying so hard to find these picks, but EDG takes so long to die.
The moves that Suning have been doing are actually good moves, but the execution has just been seconds off.
Oh my god.
Woo!
Oh my god.
Good lord.
Well, Smlz is going to go back, and EDG might actually just look to push into the base. Inhibitor's now exposed in the mid lane and the bottom lane, and Jiejie is ready to charge again.
Not much that Suning can actually do right here. What they really need to look for is iBoy. They've been doing that the entirety of these initiations.
Hacker tries to go in once again, and Clement, further to your comment, the engage will not follow up here from Suning. Maple goes maybe too far forward. The Arcane Shift is there to follow up, and he gets poked down. Smlz leaves. Baron Minion almost takes him down, and now for EDG, that's the go button. The Ignite goes down onto Maple. He has World Ender, but no chance to pop it as EDG are going to get a second inhibitor from this. They don't need to base. They're going to go for the third inhibitor turret.
It definitely looks like it's going to be the triple. There's a ton of backline wards, but no TP to actually be used for Suning. They have to fight here.
I mean, look, SwordArt's going to be found out here by Scout. The Shock Blast goes in, he
Scout.
goes golden. Now, is Scout going to die? The True Shot Barrage comes through, the flag and drag gets the pick away, and that'll save Suning's game. But EDG, they can afford to die like that a couple more times.
Yeah, they can, but I have to say that was a chance for EDG to actually take a triple inhibitor. They do get a bit overzealous on Scout's end, trying to deal damage on that flank. And Suning find a good reprieve here, so there's still a lot of fighting room, I would say, for Suning to try and come back here.
Yeah.
However, they do need a lot more damage.
I mean, this will help. First Infernal bonus coming right up as TP not going to be in time. Suning just need to leave. Oh no, that's a fast Ezreal. He has
been far better on initiations.
Clement, Ezreal's the engage here.
Okay.
Okay,
it's
maybe
possible.
not. No. No, I was wrong. Don't ever listen to me. It's a 4-item Ezreal, by the way, with Zhonya's Hourglass now picked up. So he could afford to engage like that, go very far forward because iBoy has Flash. And with the Zhonya's Hourglass, he can buy for time.
With the current setup, EDG, as long as they initiate with Meiko, I think they come out of the fight completely fine. They can burst their targets down with the amount of damage they have, and Meiko is a suitable frontline from that. On Suning's end, however, they're just looking for that iBoy. Like, they have to take down iBoy. He's the hardest person to catch on the entire team, and he can't finish the fights if he's not dealt with. So we've been seeing in all these initiations, everyone focusing on iBoy. Hackers tried multiple times. I believe it's 2 flashes now just to get the knock-up.
I mean, he's had some great flag and drags, and, you know, with the Flash follow-up, there's been a lot of times where Hacker seems to be in the right, but it's timing here for Suning as the True Shot Barrage is negated partially, but still there's just so much damage through the shielding that is now going to push Suning back, and EDG are going to push into this base again.
Sweet Luden's proc across multiple targets from iBoy as well, and this is the battle for the third inhibitor.
Battle to even up the game. The explosive card sends Maple backwards. He goes golden as there's the quickness there from the bottom lane. Smlz at half health once again, but the infernal damage starting to kick in as Maple starts dunking down into GA form. Goes Scout as EDG go for that backline with the flash with the root call. Smlz survives! And Jinoo now has to get the hell out of there as Angel will go golden. He will drop as well, but Smlz gets to the fountain. You're so darn low.
It was really close. I actually felt that Suning outplayed that fight, but EDG, they're looking for the finish.
I mean, they've got the minions crashing on in. Last fight here potentially for Suning as both Nexus turrets have dropped and EDG just want to hit this one away. iBoy, it's the ranged knock-up as that's just going to be the poke down on the Nexus. EDG want to even up this series.
iBoy with Zhonya's has been so critical so
Jinoo
far.
with the flash slice and dice. Instant kill. Jiejie says goodnight. SwordArt back to the fountain. And look at Maple. The last defense isn't there. EDG will even up round 1.
Gotta love that defensive build coming from iBoy. It looked like the fight was won on the front line for Suning, but then iBoy in the back, he waits out the perfect execution from Angel. Angel doesn't get the kill, and they're able to finish that one up. Really good game from EDG. I love that they shift their focus towards the top side. We were calling Jinoo the X factor of this series.
Yeah, we were.
Much better performance here. That 1v3 in the top lane really started it all.
Man, we're getting our money's worth in this series, and EDG are not gonna die that easily. A game where you can look back and say, well, Suning held their cards close to their chest in the early game again. Then we got to that mid game, and EDG, it's like a switch just flicked in their head.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of the plays were made and started by Suning themselves, but EDG just out-executed them by a mile. The top lane dive was, in theory, okay, but, you know, Jinoo being Jinoo just outplayed that one. The mid lane where Suning lost Baron, that was a play where, you know, yeah, they had the drop on them, didn't work out. EDG were able to react on that, and then all of the late game initiations, none of it worked on iBoy. This is iBoy having one of his best games that we've seen in a long while, and having a really unique build as well. That was not a Gunblade, that was actually just double defensive items.
Hourglass, yeah.
Zanya's and the Iceborne Gauntlet.
It dished out the damage, and I think saying iBoy had a good game is great because it's not something we've been regularly saying throughout the split. It's a good sign for EDG. Because if it was just going down like game 1, it would be the rinse and repeat from the spring run in the bracket where Sun and Dragon smashed them 3-0.
It's really good to see iBoy being able to play on-point defensively.
Sure.
That's the key point here. Offensively, iBoy has always been top-notch, but defensively, very suspect.
It's smart.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyone can play offensively.
Yeah, it's like you have limited talent points and you just put it all in one tree, and it's like,
Don't even need defense. Let's throw that to the wayside. So I like that we're talking about iBoy here. I'd love to talk a little bit more about, you know, maybe about Jinoo in the top lane because the Renekton seems more his style and EDG could play around that more. Felt like an EDG that had options.
Yeah, I think it goes to show why you're seeing EDG give over the Akali, because they can swap the Renekton even though it didn't, you know, actually go into the lane this time around. They can put that Renekton into the Akali lane if they so choose to. That's still going to be a very strong lane for them. So they're willing to hand over the Akali just to Angel, control Maple in the top side, and it really does seem like this matchup is going to hinge in the later games on if Maple can survive the onslaught and the pressure coming from Jinoo and Jiejie.
I want to talk about Angel though.
Okay.
Let's come back to Angel.
Sure.
Because it feels like now we're at the point where, yes, Angel's on Akali, had a great Akali game, but let's get back to the style of Suning that we hyped up, where we talked about this pick right here in compilation, right? What am I trying to say? In comparison with the Tahm Kench, the global composition,
what
right?
I think you're going to see coming out from Suning is they're going to back away from the 1-3-1, because I don't think they can sustain 1-3-1 with double winning solo lanes against the likes of EDG. That is not something we expected to happen in the matchup whatsoever. So I think they're going to put more emphasis onto protecting Smlz and play a later game teamfight style. I think that is actually a great answer against EDG. It's basically how W has been beating EDG throughout the years, is just like, you know what? You guys are great in these skirmishes. We're going to take a step back and we're going to match you with the 5v5.
Yeah, so for Suning, they're going to bounce back because now one apiece. We go to a game 3 where it's that momentum we talk about. We're going to have a short break, then return here with round 1 of playoffs.